How many times have we heard or said the phrase, "It's complicated"? Often our circumstances in life feel overwhelming, and it's hard to picture how we can ever pile more on top of our already hectic days. But when I found minimalism and began to declutter the excess in my life, I was left with the realization that because I had so much, it was difficult for me to appreciate and value all that I did have. It took getting rid of over 90% of my wardrobe, selling and donating many of our possessions, and many emotional breakdowns as God also decluttered traumas and fears within my heart. I'm still a work in progress, by the way, but something funny happened in the midst of it all. I began to do things that at one point I never would have bothered or had the time to do. Hey, I'm Yessie. On this channel, we talk about minimalism and slow living. And today I'm going to share with you the 10 ways that I intentionally complicate my life to live happier. If minimalism and slow living sounds interesting to you, be sure to like and subscribe so that YouTube can recommend to you more positive content like this. And also be sure to check out my opposing video on the 25 tiny ways to simplify your life. I'll link that one in the description box below. The first one on the list is that I use my non-dominant hand daily. I am right-handed, and so I forced myself to write with my left hand, flip pancakes with my left hand, brush my teeth with my left hand, and just throughout the day try to remember to do things with my left hand. And I did it because I really want to focus on being present and in the moment. In a world that's constantly busy, it's hard to just slow down and allow yourself to be without thinking of what you have to do and all the things that need to get done. It has been 3 months now, and it's still hard for me, and I still catch myself. Like, I'll be cooking and I'll be using my right hand and I'll just remember, oh, gotta use my left hand. But that little oh is a moment where I am now reminding myself, hey Yessie, be present. Think about what you're actually doing. Don't just go through the motions. If you feel like you can use some more gratitude in your life, some more mindfulness, maybe this can be a great trick for you. Number 2 is that I wake up early and go to sleep early. Waking up early, especially when I wake up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, is definitely not something comfortable to do, and it's something that most people wouldn't want to do. But I find that I'm much more productive this way. I get so much more done throughout the day, and then usually because of the things that I do throughout the day and just tips that I've already applied in my life, I get much better rest at night, helping me to be more productive the next day. If you're trying to adopt a morning routine or a night routine to help you get better sleep at night, but also be more productive during the day, check out my video, How I Wake Up at 5 a.m. that's packed with tips to really help you get a better sleep at night so that you can be your most productive self the next day. Number 3, cold showers. I made a challenge to myself and went for 2 months every single day taking cold showers the first thing that I did every morning. You may be thinking that this sounds like complete torture, but for me, I found that it was actually something that once I started doing it for a while, it was something that I kind of enjoyed because it felt so invigorating. It helped me to wake up in the morning. I just felt like I was so much more clear-minded. Some of the benefits is that it can help you become more disciplined, it can help you have better mental clarity, and it can actually boost your levels of dopamine. But it's definitely not for everyone. I know that my husband, who has back issues, loves his hot showers, especially before bed, because it helps him relax so that he doesn't have pain throughout the night. So it's not for everybody, but if you're interested, give it a try. See how it goes. Number 4 is to cook things at home and make things from scratch. I admit, when Rudy and I got married, I was definitely not a good cook. I would often burn things, overcook them, undercook them, just think that because a particular seasoning was yummy, if I poured the whole bottle in, it would be even yummier. But over the years, as I've had more practice, I've developed my favorite meals, my go-to meals that I now feel confident in making. I've definitely simplified the way in which I cook my meals, the types of seasonings that I use, and I think that this has helped me. Sometimes if we don't really know how to cook or we don't really enjoy cooking, because I used to hate cooking, it was really helpful for me to just kind of simplify and stop trying to make all these wonderful gourmet dishes that had all these complicated steps and complicated ingredients. When I started to simplify that, it was so much easier to cook, I ate healthier, and we didn't have to spend money on buying things out as much. Have a garden and grow your own herbs. Just like I admitted that I hated cooking, I never particularly liked gardening or found really any joy in it. Until Rudy introduced me to cooking with herbs, and my mind was blown. I thought this food was the most delicious thing that I had tasted, and I just can't see myself cooking without herbs anymore. So we have grown our own herbs for years now. And in the summertime, we also have a garden. And I don't know if it's just like a psychological effect, because when you work on your own food, when you finally taste it in your own plate, it just tastes so much better. This is definitely something that kind of complicates our life, and that we have to take care of the weeds and, water them and, take care of them on a regular basis. But it's something that I really enjoy. And I really can't see myself not having a garden and growing our herbs anymore. Before we go to the next one, let me know, what is one thing that complicates your life, but you're actually happier because of it? Put it down in the comments below. Hand wash and dry your dishes immediately. I'm not saying that this is for everybody, but I know that when I lived with my parents, they had a dishwasher, and I just felt no point to it, because you still had to kind of rinse the dishes, put it in that machine, get that thing all ready. It would take forever for the machine to wash, and then you still had to put them away, and half the time they were wet to begin with anyway. And also, when we moved into this house, I really wanted it to be as open as possible. So having a dish rack was not something that I wanted to stare me in the face every day. So we have kind of a house policy that after we eat, we have to immediately put the dishes in the sink, and usually after meals, they'll be washed, dried, and put away. And this way, it kind of stays clean throughout the day rather than having piles stacked up. For me, it maybe takes a couple steps more, but it really doesn't take as much time as you would think, and my home is a lot cleaner for it. This next one has got to be one of my favorites, and it is to eat your meals outside and/or cook outside. Even in the wintertime, Rudy and I love to take our meals outside. It does take a little bit more time because you have to take your dishes out and bring them all back in, but the ability to sit outside in nature, to just watch the birds in the trees, to just slow down and relax, and again, allow yourself to just be, I love that feeling. And we definitely try to add it into our routines as much as possible. If you don't want to go all out and actually have like a full-on meal outside, then maybe just take your snacks outside and see how it makes you feel. Take the stairs and park far away. I admit I began parking far away when I started driving a truck. If you have a truck, you'll know you have to park far away because they're bigger. They just take up more space. So you want to be as far from vehicles as possible. In the beginning, I thought that this was a nuisance, but once I started doing it for a while, I actually kind of enjoyed that because it meant that I got more exercise in throughout the day, especially when running errands and going to many different places. Where I live, I don't have the opportunity to bike or walk or to take a bus, but just making this small change can allow me to get a little bit more exercise in what could otherwise be a very sedentary lifestyle. And not only can taking the stairs over the elevator be a great way to get your heart rate going, but it can also be a great exercise of gratitude. Because how awesome it is that we have cars to get from point A to point B, and that we have the option of elevators, where some countries don't have these options available. If you can, make it your challenge today to take the stairs and park far away. Number 9, I have real houseplants. I've talked to you guys about my horrible spending habits, so I'm not going to get into detail on that, but I did used to buy a lot of fake plants and fake flowers, and I thought that those were better because I didn't have to pay attention to them. But something happened in me when I started to declutter and get rid of things. I started to value taking care of things, because now that I didn't have so much cluttering my home, the things that I did have were things that I valued. I definitely get a lot of value and joy from my plants, but they're actually something very healthy for you, because they help to purify the air. NASA actually recommends you have one plant per every 100 square feet of space that you have in your home for optimum air quality. Lastly, number 10 is I use the reusable option whenever possible. I have 2 separate videos with tons of ideas for items that you can swap out the disposable version for the reusable option. But I'm not gonna lie, the disposable can sometimes be the easier option to go for. So take my menstrual cup and pads, for example. I could definitely use the disposable version, just toss it in the trash and never think about it again. But I would be spending more money to buy these over and over again. I'd be spending more time to go back and forth from the store to buy these items. They would be taking up more space within my home, and I would be harming the environment. So for me, I prefer the reusable option whenever possible. And as a bonus for sticking to the end, decreasing our income dramatically. This year, I will be quitting my college career to pursue other dreams. I'm incredibly blessed that my husband supports me in pursuing my passions, but it will definitely complicate our lives, as we will be taking away our only stable income source and our health insurance. which in the US, I don't even want to talk about the medical system. And it will also mean that we will further have to slash our budgets. If you want to hear all about why I quit my job, how I planned for it, and how I plan to save and downsize even more, be sure to subscribe for more videos to come. But I hope that what you gather from all this is that nothing in life is ever perfect. And in the end, working hard at something will be as meaningful as the value you attach to it. I want to do the things I value and do them with passion. Yes, even the little things. Today, I challenge you with a question. What are those little and big things that you value? And make the conscious choice to make them your priority.